Spencer Fearon, how you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Don't forget the fight is right.
The
The
fight
baddest
is
podcast
right.
out there right now. I just want people to realize that part.
Hey, remember, subscribe to The Fight is Right.
Numbers don't lie. Big up Baba Tunde Ajayi, my brother from another mother.
Big up Tunde, man. Big up Tunde. You know, I think, obviously, look, you know, as soon as the result from Saturday kind of shocked the whole of the boxing world, you know, I thought it'd be a good idea to catch up and talk about it. What was your immediate reaction to Dillian Whyte shock defeat against Povetkin?
My immediate reaction was like, no. That was my immediate reaction. Yeah, it was shocking, especially after he boxed so gallantly and he boxed really well in round 4. Matter of fact, as I speak to you now, I've got the TV on in the background with the fight on because Sky have now put it up on YouTube as well. And I'm watching it, and Dillian, you know what? Dillian never did nothing wrong in that fight, you know? Period. You know what I mean? He just got caught. But if you watch the fight, I'm in round 2 right now, you can see every time Povetkin was trying to set up that shot. You know what I mean? He was trying to set up the shot because Povetkin would push the jab out just to create distance for him to cut off, to try and throw the left uppercut. And many times when he was doing that, he was hitting Dillian because Dillian was like this, he'll cover up like this. So Dillian's defense wasn't really head movement more than that, but it was more like having his head up, having his hands up, sorry. So when Povetkin would throw it, he usually hit around about the chest area. He was actually aiming for the chin. So he was planning for that shot. But as much as he was planning for that shot, Dillian did box. He boxed well, man. I can't fault his performance. He just got caught with a hell of a shot. He was winning every round. And that's the difference why I could say to Dillian, maybe, just maybe, now he could go and take a rematch, an immediate rematch, because he wasn't getting outboxed. You know what I mean? I'm going to be real. I had reservations about Anthony Joshua taking a rematch against Andy Ruiz for the simple fact that he was actually getting outboxed in that fight. But what Anthony Joshua did, he really did go back to the drawing board and he reinvented his style. In this here, I don't think Dillian Whyte needs to reinvent his style. Nothing. What Dillian Whyte has to do is do exactly what he did on the weekend, but be totally focused, knowing that something's going to come back at you, but not be overly fearful of what's coming back at you. And I think Dillian Whyte's the right person to do that. I think Dillian Whyte's got that kind of... I spoke to him for a good while on Sunday morning. He has got that mental toughness. So when he said, look, I'll come back from it, I really do believe that he'll come back from it.
You know, I was saying to somebody else the other day that it's been 4 years since his last defeat, which is a bloody long time. So you think of the run he had all the top contenders that he beat on the way to becoming mandatory, 1,000 days plus. And it's so disappointing for a lot of his fans because literally you're on the brink of your world title shot. And such is life.
But listen, I'm not even talking about no fans. I don't really care about the fans talk. You understand? Because a lot of people are very, very fickle. I've seen a lot of fickle comments out by certain people. I don't even want to call their name because if I call their name, I'm giving them energy, but they know who they are. but it's being fickle. Yeah. And I'm just keeping it 100. I haven't got no time for no fickleness. It's just ridiculous. Really is really, really dumb. You know what I mean? Guy got caught. You know what I mean? If he was getting beaten up in there, then I'd be really worried about him. You know what I mean? But because it was a horrible knockout, mentally it can do something to you. But do I think mentally it's going to do anything to Dillian Whyte? No, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. 4 years ago, right, what was that? 2016, December 15th, when he fought Anthony Joshua, right? And he gets stopped. Same shot, kind of finishing shot was uppercut, right? And Dillian, while walking out of the ring, I go to see him now. He's all right in that. He's walking out. He's got his man them around him and Jonathan Banks. And Dillian said, you see, the bloody referee started the fight too early. That's how tough the U is. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm saying, bro, you just got knocked out, brother. He was like, that's how tough he is. So I ain't really that worried. I believe that Dillian Whyte can come back because he's faced defeat before. Not only in boxing, but he's faced defeat in Muay Thai. And he's brushed himself off and he's come back. And he's still here now doing what he's doing. So I believe that Dillian Whyte's going to come back. And I still believe that handled right and make minor adjustments, right? Then yeah. And apparently I heard that Dave Cool was going to be in the camp now, right? And I'm kind of happy for that to an extent because I wasn't happy when they said that he was going to be in the corner for this fight because I know that Dave Cool hasn't even seen Dillian Whyte skip, right? And I think he's got 3-4 months. He's still going to be working with Xavier, I believe, Xavier Miller. Then it gives him to build his relationships better with the guys that work in his corner.
Definitely. You know, there's a lot of credence to what you're saying. Obviously, the man was in tip-top shape. When I see Dillian Whyte come to the ring with the 50 Cent Teflon and a cap, I'm like, okay, it's maximum violence today. But a lot of people, I must admit, they kind of slept a bit on Povetkin. And you know what? No, they never. No, listen, brother, I'm telling you. On the reels, maybe publicly they were, but privately, everyone was saying, boy, they were nervous about this fight. They're nervous about this fight because they knew that Povetkin was going to come knowing that this is his last roll at the dice. They knew, you know what I mean? I'm talking about the general consensus. The people that I was speaking to, we weren't, you know what I mean, weren't going like this was going to be an easy fight. That's why I said I picked Dillian Whyte on point because I thought this was going to be a very tough fight. You know what I mean? And he's going to have to bite down his gum, sure, but yeah. But no, we didn't think for 1 second that he was going to get hit with that kind of shot. And it was like, you know what I mean, when he scored the knockdowns in round 4, we was like, cha, the fight is done already. Oh, I must admit, I went for my hot chocolate at that time.
Okay, so if I felt that and you felt that, what do you think the fighter felt? Okay then. So no big thing. He brushed himself off, come back, and I know he'll come back. I know for a fact he'll come back because he really does want it.
I was good to a lot of people. I'm just trying to work out how Povetkin has these powers of recovery. You know, he's banging out all these young guys. You know, and it's remarkable. You know, I know Klitschko kept himself in tip-top shape. You know, he scored in the last fight with Anthony Joshua. I mean, the way Klitschko boxed that night at Wembley, I was like, yeah. This guy, he can still move about. He can still pivot. You know what I mean? He can still work that ring nicely. Is it credit Povetkin for looking after himself?
Of course, you got to give credit to Povetkin for looking after himself. And you also got to give him credit for, he's a gentleman, you know? Look at his body language after the fight. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte was knocked out. He was happy, but he weren't going nuts over, you know what I mean? Because he thought, well, here's a fellow human being that's down and out. So you know what I mean? I respect Povetkin a lot. Not only that, but he's a good professional, man. He's a very, very good professional. And he is the most experienced person that Dillian Whyte's been in the ring with. And, I mean, unfortunately, he came out second best. But you know what they say? A setback is only preparing you for a comeback. And that's the truth. And as the great Les Brown said, if life locks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And it's time for Dillian Whyte to get up, brush himself off, you know what I mean? And fall back in love with the sport. And get on with doing what you're doing. I think maybe his attentions were wavered a little bit because he said, how long am I waiting for this world title shot? I think his attention could have wavered a little bit because he had the spat with Mark Tibbs. I think his attention could have been wavered a little bit because the WBC said, oh, well, this is for the diamond belt now, and then you definitely are going to be slotted in to fight the winner of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. So maybe all of that, and you know what I mean, it's pressurizing. And as I keep on saying to people, and people think I'm joking, I'm saying to read into this, fighting literally behind closed doors, right, with no crowd, and you're the home fighter, makes no difference. You're not the home fighter anymore. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? There ain't no crowd on you no more. So your concentration has to be solely focused on the job in hand. That is it. Average human beings got less attention span than a goldfish. That's nuts, right? That's crazy. So therefore, that you got to be on it all the time. What happened. It was one shot. He wasn't getting battered. He wasn't getting beaten up. So therefore, I believe that Dillian Whyte can regroup and come back.
You mentioned obviously Dillian Whyte. You know, he's very headstrong. You know, he's mentally a tough person. Is it going to be a bit demoralizing moving forward? Because before this fight, he had a lot of obstacles in his way. It would seem that the obstacles now are going to increase to a certain amount for him to get his world title shot again. Could that be a bit demoralizing moving forward? I mean, he's only human.
What could be demoralizing?
The obstacles to get his title shot is probably going to take longer now. You see what I mean?
So what? So what? You know what I mean? You're in it to win it. And all obstacles are, my friend, Pro Beez, is for you to overcome and to show yourself just how great you are. You know what I mean? The obstacles are the ceilings that we put on ourselves as human beings. The obstacles actually don't exist. They don't exist, right? And more than anything, if you are putting this demoralizing factor on yourself with having this chip on your shoulder, like the whole world's against me, and I think Johnny Nelson said that on Sky, that Dillian Whyte's got a chip on his shoulder. I think Johnny Nelson should have chose his words a little bit better than that. Johnny's my friend, but I think you should, you know what I mean? Because you damn well know if you was in this position, you'd have a chip on your shoulder too. If you was waiting 127 days as a number one challenger for a world title, you ain't got a look in yet, I think you'd have a chip on your shoulder too. You know what I mean? You're calling out all the top guys for the longest time and you ain't got your shot, you'd have a chip on your shoulder too. Or you get a chance to have an opportunity at a shot for a world title, but then closing a contract for a rematch ain't in your favor. I think you'd have a chip on your shoulder too. Period. And I think a lot of that's got to do with like the fact like Dillian Whyte was the guy that seemingly nobody really wanted. The promoters never really wanted him. Telling you how it is. You know what I mean? Because they got their star guy, Anthony Joshua. So they think, well, Dillian Whyte, yeah, he can fight and he's up there. And he's one of the best heavyweights, but he ain't Anthony Joshua though. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Right? And I'm just being real. I can't lie. So I think a lot of people could have felt a little bit more relaxed when that happened. Eddie Hearn could have thought, oh, well, now we, you know what I mean? Because he was like a bit stuck at dead end because unfortunately, he couldn't get him a shot for the world title. Because if he could, he would have. So that loss now has given a lot of people breathing space. But he's going to come back, and I think the fight's going to be due in November or December, but I think it's going to be November because it'll be difficult because Joshua's fighting in December to, like, Christmas is coming as well, to have 2 pay-per-views at that time. Going to be a bit hard. Like, the sales ain't going to be rocking, but I think people would buy this fight simply because the fight is what it is, and the fight is of great interest. So I think it'll be good. That's what I believe.
Would you make of Frank Warren seemingly kind of mocking that you're not mandatory anymore? Do you see the interview with Umo and IFL?
Brother, what am I going to say about that? Listen, what I do know is this. When you are happy for someone's successes, yours is just around the corner. Where you are diminishing and demising somebody's supposed failures, your failures are just around the corner. So I'm warning these, man, be careful what you're laughing at. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Be careful what you're laughing at. Be careful what you're demoralizing. Because the demoralization is just going to be yours around the corner. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, it was still funny what Frank Warren said about business. It was still funny. Let's be real. You have to laugh. It was funny. But it even showed you even more so. This is just a business. You know what I mean? And they don't care. They don't business about you. You know what I mean? They don't business about you. Listen to Nas's last album, not the album just gone. The album just gone is wicked, you know. I'm talking about Nas's last album, Nasir Jones, which he done with Kanye West.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right. I think they're scared of us. I rest my case. So, them people don't business for you. You know what I mean? And I'm going to say to everyone, stop trying to be liked by everybody. Not everyone's going to like you. I don't care who likes me or who don't like me. You understand? I speak my mind. You know what I mean? I worship Allah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I worship God. I'm protected by God. I want man to realize this. When I'm wrong, everything I do is for the appeasement of the Most High God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I don't business who likes me from who don't like me. But I'm trying to say to other fighters who are out there, you know what I mean? Stop begging and bowing and stand up. You know what I mean? Because it's the essence of God that created you. So that means that you got part of God that dwells inside of you. You know what I mean? Roll with that energy, that spirit. You know what I mean? You know the word spirit comes from the word ruach, which is a Hebrew word, and the word ruach means spirit, but it also means breath, life. That's how you're meant to be rolling. Roll with that life, that confidence of life. You know what I mean? Cha. You get me started now, Pro Beez.
Well, would you make a lot of Dillian Whyte's ops? You know, Andy Ruiz Jr., Wilder, Fury, they've all come out kind of seemingly mocking the result from the weekend just gone by.
They're your ops. They're allowed to do that. They're your ops. You get what I'm trying to say? They're your opposition. So they're meant to do that. Well, they're meant to be, yeah, they're meant to. But fair play to Anthony Joshua, show class. He didn't, you know what I mean? But in the same thing, like when Anthony lost to Ruiz, Dillian Whyte didn't mock him. So I think they've got mutual respect. But the other guys, they don't like mutual respect. Man, I'm glad that you lost. That's just the game.
Moving forward, do you feel like this has kind of brought closer Fury versus Joshua, or is there still, because of Dillian Whyte's rematch?
No. Of course it has. Because Dillian's still got to get past Povetkin. Right? Povetkin's had his chance at Anthony Joshua. So he can't really be pushing too hard, because you had a shot at a unified world champion. He came second best. So yeah, it's going to be more difficult for Dillian Whyte to get his shot.
Now, do you know, I feel like the result from Fight Camp showed that, you know, the heavyweight division it's got a more competitive line of fighters than what people actually think. You know, Povetkin at 41, still banging out. Wilder, yeah, he weren't great against Fury, but he can ice anybody. You see what I mean?
Trust me. Never sleep on Deontay Wilder. You sleep on Deontay Wilder, he'll put you to sleep.
100%. Even Michael Hunter, I was saying to Johnny Nelson that Michael Hunter, even he was impressive against Povetkin in Saudi. You know, he was really, really, he showed us what
here's the difference. Michael Hunter has come from fighting lineage. His father, Michael Hunter Sr., was former NFBA heavyweight champion. His dad could rock. You know what I mean? His dad was unjustly murdered by the police as well, but I'm saying his dad could rock. He's grown up being around the thing. He's grown up being around boxing. He's grown up with that. No, my old man boxes. I'm boxing now. He's grown up around it. Dillian Whyte, unfortunately, hasn't grown up around boxing. He hasn't grown around it. He's grown around fighting. He's grown up around that, but he hasn't grown up around boxing. There was a big difference. So Dillian's actually learning on the job, right? But also the good thing is this: Dillian Whyte's learning on the job, but he's also improving on the job. And even in defeat, he's improving, because I saw him do some good things. I like the little rolls that he was doing and throwing the left hooks downstairs. I would have liked to have finished with left hook up top, when he did those roles, but it is what it is. But yeah, Dillian he boxed very, very well. I rate what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do. I rate. I can't knock it. You know what I mean? Even though he lost, I can't say, well, oh, but you should listen. No. You box very well, man.
Do you know, I think, would you say, obviously, look, the amateur background, you know, having those amateur accomplishments play a massive role in the pro game? Because
of course they do.
You see, like Loma's polished, what, 390 plus fights. He's polished straight into the pro game, you know, two-weight world champion. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you think it's obviously advising guys that are up and coming that get your amateur experience before even thinking about it, or?
Yes, I'll totally agree with you on that one. But there are certain guys who haven't had no amateur experience and have still done great things. If we look through our history,
Dillian Whyte.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh?
I.e. Dillian Whyte, still done good things.
Well, at least Dillian Whyte had a few amateur fights, but most of his fighting experience actually came from kickboxing, right? But you know what I mean, Dwight Muhammad Quarry, you know what I mean, former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, who famously beat Matthew Saad Muhammad. That man had no amateur experience at all. And if you watch him technically as a light heavyweight, that was superb fighter. And he went on to become cruiserweight world champion as well. But that guy was excellent. So I mean, the game is what it is. And I'm saying to anyone, if you're gonna do this thing, this game's not no joke. Study this thing. You know what I mean? Be embellished in this thing. This thing is not a joke. You know what I mean? It's serious.
I suppose we saw during fight camp, we saw Fabio Wardley, you know, pick up the English title. Only white collar fights. Mad, right?
Yeah, and he's still got a lot to learn. But what he's doing right now, he's looking pretty cool, man. So I got to props him too.
Just finally, Spencer, just tonight I've seen Barry Hearn and Frank Warren get into it. Barry Hearn saying that he won't be joining the meeting with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren about coming together to make some big fights in the future.
I'm saying let those guys do what they have to go do. Hopefully they can make certain fights and pull certain fights over the line. But who does this really benefit the most? Does it benefit Eddie Hearn more? Does it benefit Frank Warren more? And if they did this would benefit Frank Warren more than it would Eddie Hearn. And I'm telling you facts. You know what I mean? And that's that. So does it really need to happen like, oh, the best of your guys fight the best of... No, but what I would like to see, if there was to, you know what I mean, Archie Sharp versus Zelfa Barrett. I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, great fight.
I would really like to see that.
Boatsy and Yard though. That is.
Yeah, but you're talking about Boatsy and Yard.
Yeah.
That has to be a pay-per-view fight. You know what I mean? So the pay-per-view fight next year. Let those guys build up. Let one of them pick up a world title. Then make that fight. Don't make that fight for bragging rights. You know what I mean? Make that fight for financial gains for two guys who I know both of them. Got love in my heart for both of them. But you know, I'm more of a Yard person than a Boatsy person. You know what I mean? And I ain't no liar neither. But what I'm trying to say to you is that, yeah, we'll that's how, you know what I mean? I'm just telling you, that's how I see it anyway, bro.
All right, cracking stuff. Look, we look forward to more boxing. I mean, I think it's fair to say over the past month, we've really enjoyed some of the fights that have been put on. And it just shows what we were missing in the first place, man, with all this pandemic and lockdown and all that. It's hope for the people. Sport plays a big part in people's lives, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad that that fights are being made and that we're fortunate to see the fights. So yeah, I mean, I was impressed with Frank Warren's show that he put on with Carl Frampton on it and Michael Conlon. I was impressed with that show. I mean, I enjoyed watching that show. But yeah, you know what I mean? Long live the sport, man. keep on doing what you're doing, Pro Beez. You know what I mean? You're original G. You know what I mean? And even more than everything, it's like, I like to see people's progress, and you have really pushed on this thing and progressed, and it's like, yeah. So like, you know what I mean? Before it's like, cha, it's an honor to be on your channel just to help you out. But now it's really an honor to be on your channel because it's all big, it's good, and you're a real supporter as well.
Hey, I'd like to pick up my guy Spencer. It's been supported from day one. The first man I reached out to, the first man that said, yo, bro, come, let me help you. So, you know what I mean? So the love and admiration is there for eternity, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Blue
Come
Jay
on, man.
and all.
Yeah, you know that one.
And that's
yeah,
coming,
man.
man.
Also,
yeah.
Let me big up Flavor Boss as well. Addiscombe Road down the ends. Like, it's a jerk chicken shop. Jerk chicken, they do jerk lamb, jerk. So it's a wicked store. And I like to support the businesses that when I'm seeing people doing a thing. So yeah, big up Flavor Boss.
That's it. I like to big up Blue Jays Caf.
Always, always.
One stop in Halsden. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, come on, man. Straight standard. People don't understand, like, West Indian takeaways are the backbone of the community.
100.
Trust me on that.
100. Yo, Spence, thanks for your time, man. It's been a pleasure. I'd like to give a massive shout out to the Fight Is Right, Tunde Ajayi as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Fight Is Right, Pep Talk UK. It's all love.
All right, bro. Bless up.
Catch you soon. Thanks. Cheers, man.